Well, hello there, my darlings. Happy speed build Sunday. Yes, it's Sunday because I was supposed to get this out yesterday and I couldn't because, as you can probably see, it's quite a big build and it took me quite a while to finish this and I just knew I wasn't going to get it completed on time. So apologies for that, my loves, but happy Sunday. How are you all doing? Hope you're having a lovely weekend, whatever you get up to. And welcome to the abandoned power plant. This is on the 50 by 50 lot in Strangerville. It's where the broken aeroplane kind of lot usually is. And I got inspired from this because I really wanted to build an abandoned power plant for my Let's Build the World series. Oh my God, I've just completely threw my phone away. Goodbye. Sorry about that. Yeah, I wanted to build an abandoned power plant for my Let's Build the World series. But then I was like, what about if I do a speed build of that instead? I don't think I'm going to be making this lot for my Let's Build the World series because I would love to give another power plant a go and maybe give it a different look or something along those caliber, maybe like a government testing facility or something. So I was just like, right, I'm going to do it as a speed build instead. And away I went, and this is what I came up with. And I really, really love how this kind of came out. I saw a concept kind of art image on Pinterest that really inspired this. It doesn't look like this build a lot. I just really loved the aesthetic of that build. And I've been trying to, that piece of art, but I've been trying to bloody find that piece of art again. And I couldn't. So I had to do this all from kind of memory. And yeah, I just let my imagination run wild, my loves. And this is what happened. Now, this place is absolutely crammed full of detail. I've actually made 4 Sims moving into this lot, and they are all homeless. So it is kind of a really cool place for your homeless Sims to kind of hang out. It has got an area where they can kind of cook, shower, sleep, everything. And hang out as well and grow their own fruit and veg and stuff. And they could probably put this lot off the grid because I used a lot of solar panels and like wind turbines and everything that you would need really for a off the grid lot. And yeah, I love how it came out. I really, really loved how it came out. Now, most of it will just look run down and abandoned on the inside, like all old machinery. But I made sure to get some personality in there as well. And I had so much fun building this. The build probably took me around about 12 hours, I think. Kind of spread over a couple of days. But, oh God, I loved doing it. I really did. I was up until 1 a.m. building this. I looked at the clock. It was 11:30. I was like, right. Got half an hour more building to do and then I'm going to bed. And then I looked at the clock again and it was 1 o'clock in the morning. And I've been trying to be really good lately and going to bed at midnight. But when your creativity takes over, you've just got to go with the flow. And that is exactly what happened with this build. It really did. Main reasons I wanted to build an abandoned place is mainly because of the new Star Wars pack. Comes with a lot of kind of dystopian, apocalyptic looking build items. And I thought, I'm going to be able to utilize these items quite well, I think. And I did. They worked really well in it. Not lots of Star Wars things are being used in here, mainly doors and a few kind of decorative objects like the wires and etc., etc. But yeah, it came in really handy. What I'm doing here is I'm doing a kind of pipeline moment. I had to use quite a bit of the tool mod in this build as well, just so I could kind of make it look a little bit more realistic. Or it's almost like a futuristic power plant looking place, but it has got that dystopian edge to it. In the beginning, I was like, I'm going to make it look like loads of nature have taken over. And there's just going to be green trees growing out the top of the buildings and stuff. And as I was building it more and more and this industrial edge was coming onto it, I was like, I'm preferring this. So I still litter the place in kind of ivy and things, but I didn't want the greenery to kind of be the main aspect of this. I wanted the industrial kind of edge to kind of come through. And it did. It really did. And I'm very for it. You'll have to let me know in the comment box what you think of this build because I'm very proud of it. I think you should always be proud of your builds. And I haven't done a kind of industrial looking build in quite a while, and I love doing them. I bloody love it. So this is the outcome of that kind of creative fire that I had in my head that day, and very pleased indeed. I'm going to be actually building this lot in my Let's Build the World series. This is where we're going to do a circus. We're actually building a circus in Let's Build the World on this lot with, it's going to be a residential lot, and I'm going to do loads of kind of circus cast members, like the bearded lady, etc. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing that. That's going to be the next build after the theatre that I'm building at the minute, which the next part of that will be out tomorrow, my loves. So you'll have that to look forward to. Very exciting indeed. But yeah, how has your weekend been? What have you been up to? What have you been doing? I've been trying to sort of play catch up with a few things that I had to get done. And also to try and get the speed build finished on time. I knew on Saturday morning, I was just like, I'm never going to get this done. I'm never going to. Don't be so silly, Aiden. You've got stuff to do today. And you're not going to have time. And I wish I'd listened to that kind of seed in my head. But as it kind of progressed, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not going to get it done. So I'm just going to have to notify everybody it's Speed Build Sunday instead. And I know you guys all understand when that kind of thing happens. I'm very kind of relaxed with my schedule, but I hate kind of promising people things and then them not materializing. But it's here. It's here and it's exciting. It really is. So in my head, I wanted all of these kind of walkway platforms around the whole build. That's what I'm doing now. I'm kind of wrapping this curved piece around on the next level up. Your sim can get absolutely everywhere in this build as well. There are ladders going everywhere, stairs here and there. And the two buildings, even though they're at different heights, they are connected. So they can go down to the next building without having to kind of exit the lot and come back on. The lot in gameplay is so much fun. I chose some really cool traits for this lot as well. I've made it haunted, a dog hangout, so loads of stray dogs come and visit this as well, which is just which is very exciting. And I forgot what the other one was. I think it might have been like the recycling one. I think it might have been, because I go to town with a lot of the eco lifestyle objects in this build. They just, especially like the debug stuff, all of the rubbish and stuff, it just made it look so alive and so run down and forgotten about, and I loved it. You see what I'm doing here? I'm using these bar pieces from the new Star Wars pack, and I wanted like a curved cylinder kind of edge on this like kind of front bit of the build, and these just worked perfectly, so I just layered them on top of each other quite nicely. And yes, very much for it indeed. So the build by objects for the Star Wars pack are going to be, as I predicted or kind of said in my review video, they are going to come across really easily for these kind of builds, these industrial, kind of dystopian, apocalyptic kind of builds. And I'm inspired to create more now that that aesthetic is kind of thoroughly in the game. And I'm for it. I really am. Now, I will go ahead and say I did do a lot of detailing off of camera for this place. Because it's so huge. If I left everything in, it would be longer than the kind of, I reckon I'm just going to be just under 40 minutes, I think, for this build. It would have came in well over an hour because I had lots of footage to try and edit through. And yeah, I was just like, nope, we're doing it this way. This is the way it's got to be. I'll show you the furnishing of the actual livable areas as well, but the rest of the factory areas, I just kind of, yeah, I didn't bother recording them, but I'll show them off in the video tour as I always do anyway. But yes, the debug items for the Star Wars pack as well. Wow, there are some very interesting pieces. There seems to have been a massive like influx of debug items recently. I'm seeing all of the kind of skyscrapers from City Living, and like, I just can't believe it. I think they've just all been slapped into the game now, which is very nice. Very nice indeed. Not that they're usable, but I appreciate it anyway. These things here I use quite a bit on this build. These are like the spray nozzle showers. They don't actually spray out any water. I can't remember what pack they're from. It's actually there. Is it City? No, it is Strangerville. Is that Strangerville? I think that, yeah, it is. It's Strangerville. They just helped out putting detail onto the facade of the building that I really want these kind of like metal plate looking things to be. And yeah, I loved it. Loved it. I hate these girders. I love these girder pillars. I think they're absolutely brilliant, but I hate that you cannot turn them around the correct way. They all face different ways and you can't move them. I hate the new system with the pillars. They should have just completely left them alone. I hate the whole, as soon as you put them down, you can't really move it without having to like press on the move button to, oh, it's awful. Whoever's idea that was, it was a very bad idea and I don't enjoy it. But yeah, this is the actual chimney area anyway. So I did these two kind of big chimneys at the back, and for them, really for them. And I actually put a kind of fireplace on the inside as well. So you can actually get them working if you want to. But I didn't do that for the video tour at the beginning anyway, because this is supposed to be a broken down power plant, not a fixed one, but all the same. Now, this is me kind of trying to clear all my clutter away and get all Virgo. Look, I'm showing myself tidying up my clutter. Very, very Virgo. Very Virgo indeed. And then saving the game because I'm probably shitting myself that I'm going to lose this footage. I used, as you saw, I used the barbed wire fence from Debug. I forget what pack that's from. All the way around this lot. And I used this really lovely concrete terrain paint from Eco Lifestyle. I just thought it fit in quite nicely with this lot as well. It really did. Now, I was racking my brain. I was like, what the hell am I going to use for like a pipeline? And I end up using this like yellow kind of thing here. And what I do with it is use the tool mod to lay it down onto the ground and elevate it. Now, I will go ahead and show you parts of the tool modding that I did, but I will warn you, it is at night time, just like this. So you can't really see much. Now, these here are supposed to be, I don't know what they were, but I remember these being in the concept art that I'd seen. They were on the floor. There was a group of 4 of them together. And I don't know what they're supposed to be, like sort of drainage sewage systems or something, but I loved what they looked like. So I was like, right, I'm doing that. We have an object like that from the new Star Wars pack. So I am treating myself and doing it, but I apologize for the tool modding being at nighttime, but I was in the zone. I was like, right, I'm not going back and waiting or fast forwarding through to the right time. I'm just going to crack on and see what it comes out like. But it is a little bit dark, but you can see what I'm doing. I'm just rotating it by 90 degrees. And then I think the elevation was minus 1.5. And it just helped lay them on the floor. And that's exactly what I did with the pipeline object. Now, there was a concrete pipeline from the eco pack, but I just didn't really like the look of them with this build. I thought, no, I want the pipe to be a bit brighter. So I ended up using these. And I think these are from Eco Lifestyle as well. I could be wrong. I'm just trying to see if there's any logo on them or anything, but I can't really see. So maybe they're not. I have no idea. Maybe they're from the new Star Wars pack. I have no idea, my darlings. None at all. But here it is in all its glory. So the pipeline is kind of laying underneath of these kind of protection things, and I end up going around and putting these kind of safety drainage away from it in case of any spillages or whatnot. I really went to town. on the detailing for this, but it's my favorite part. My favorite part is to detail. Now, this is where I was like, oh, should we put these hazard tapes through here? And I was like, yeah, that looks okay. That's good. Hazards. And then I was going around and putting it throughout all of the lot. And then when I came to playtest it, Sims don't like to walk through them, which makes sense. It's a hazard tape. They shouldn't be walking through them. And I was like, why is this not working? I finished the build. Why is it not working? And I had to delete quite a lot of the hazard tape just so your Sims can get up and sort of use the lot itself. It was pretty difficult. I was like, no, oh, what am I going to do? But I managed to fix it and it's fine. And you still see some hazard tape here and there as well. So you still get that kind of vibe coming through from it, which is what I wanted. It is exactly what I wanted. Now, I did say I'd never utilized these big doors because they're a bit glitchy in my review pack, but they fit in quite well with this little bit here. Obviously they are bigger than the wall type itself, so I just fixed that by putting a roundish roof shape over the top of them, and it just looks like they fit straight onto the lot itself. And And they open fine as well. Your Sims can use them, so perfect. And it doesn't even look weird when the doors open because they're a little bit bigger. They only open a little bit as well. They don't open all the way. So yeah, made complete and utter use of it. Again, more hazard tape around these kind of drainage sewage system things. And I end up putting in quite a few pools everywhere as well. Maybe some like, I don't know, overflow pools where waste chemicals get taken out. I don't know what they do in these kind of places. But that's where my head went with it. And I was pleased. I was very pleased with it. I was. A little itinerary of what is coming this week on my channel. I'm going to be obviously finishing off a bit more of Let's Build the Worlds. We're going to be still on the theatre for a couple more, I would say. And then I've got Sims Medieval probably coming out on Wednesday. And then I'm going to be doing a custom content pack review for the new Jardin or Jardin. I don't know how they say it. I don't know how they're mentioning it. Harry and Felixander. I'm going to be doing a review of the pack. I haven't even seen it myself yet. So I'm going to have a big live reaction to the newest pack that those guys are going to be doing. And I'm actually going to be doing that quite often soon as well. My kind of... It's not a review as such. I don't really want to review CC packs because I'd rather just do an overview of it and then give my opinion on it. I don't really want to kind of review CC creators. I don't think that's very tasteful in itself. Well, you can if you want, if that's up to you. But these are kind of like single people or a couple of people on a pack. I don't want to like... If I don't like something, do you know what I mean? And be like, oh, I don't like that. It's horrible. Like I do with the Sims team. But they're a company. It's different. Do you know what I mean? But I will be doing overviews of more CC packs in the future, my love, because I do love a bit of custom content. And especially from some of my favourite creators such as Harry and Felixander. But yeah, lovely. Nighttime again. It's because I'm putting in these lampposts. Put those lampposts all the way down that little pathway. Love them. Absolutely love them. Now, this is where I think I'm going around and detailing this, but I found these amazing like steel girder things that I think are part of the live edit objects on the like kind of train station areas, and they fit in or over the pipeline perfectly. I can't remember if I recorded me doing that, but it looks great all the same. Really does. Yeah, loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Now, where am I going here? I'm putting in lots more detail onto the other side of the build now. Again, using these kind of spray nozzle things. I really love how they look like paneling, and they've got like a reflectant on the surface of them. When I was recording this, I was watching a podcast. It sounds weird, but this podcast that I love, it's called Mile Higher. They've got it on YouTube as well, so there's a video. So I went back and looked at that paneling, and it was a little bit wibbly wobbly, so I had to kind of sort it out a little bit. You can kind of see it's not perfect, but you know, Virgo. And in between them, I ended up putting these pipes just to give a bit more of an industrial edge with this very kind of sci-fi kind of panel. I really liked it. And then I was like, I want to connect this building in a little bit better. So I ended up using some roof pieces and then putting a nice window in it. And I just think that helped flow the two buildings together a little better. And I was absolutely for it. Really was. I can't believe how much detail I crammed into this lot, to be honest with you. And weirdly, I was like, oh God, what? Wait for the lag. It doesn't at all. I'm getting over 60 frames on this lot. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm absolutely for it. I tell you that much. Now, onto the top level. So this is the roof line. I end up choosing to do some solar panels up here. I actually end up sizing this roof down a little bit just so I could change the roof around in a bit of a different direction to make the top look a little bit more interesting. So yeah, this plant would probably get quite a lot of power just from that alone, and these wind turbines that I end up putting on the edge too. But yes, I'd be very interested to know if you do download this into your game, what your bills and stuff are like. If you do, let me know, my darling. I love that kind of thing. As again, Virgo. But I'd be very interested to know. Really would. Really bloody would. And I found this. I found a little lorry. I found a lorry or a truck, wherever you're from. In the UK, we call them lorries. And I was like, oh, it looks a bit fresh. Maybe we've kind of lifted up some graffiti onto it and make some rubbish out the back of it, it will make it look a little bit more kind of abandoned. And yeah, so that's what I did with that. Loved it. And again, using all of the eco lifestyle, like, the rubbish stuff. It's just so good for cluttering up places. It really is. And there's a good variety of it as well. It's not like you're copy pasting the same thing over and over again. They really went to town on the variety of their kind of rubbish debug. And this is me at nighttime. You can't see anything, but I am just moving a bit of rubbish down into the ground with the tool mod because it was floating. Would have been better if I wasn't doing tool mod at night, really, but hey ho. And where I just put that little kind of yellowish bush, I end up putting a staircase there as well. So that does change a little bit off of camera. And I was like, I've built all this and Sims can't get up here, Aiden. You absolutely silly bum. I think it's because I had this like roof ramp there and kind of in my head, I was like, oh, they could just use that. No, they can't, Aiden, because that's a roof. This is not real life. This is The Sims. You absolute silly bum. And another little pool here. This is another little drainage pool that I use the red water detail on as well. I don't know. That would remind me like it's got chemicals in it, like some kind of, I don't know, petrol or oil or something. I just don't know, but I still really enjoyed using it. I just think it matches well. And I'm trying to lift up the train a little bit because those pipes were floating slightly, but I end up just moving them down with the tool mod a little bit. And now this is me stacking windows, my loves. Stacking windows. You probably saw me earlier stacking windows too, but I didn't get to comment. And I end up using these ones. I can't remember where they're from, those windows. Where are they from? University? No idea. But yeah, stacking windows. Absolute game changer. And I'm absolutely here for it. Really am. Can't wait to play around with a few other windows and see what we can come up with. Very, very excited for it. I am. And again, using this paneling, it just really helped. That nozzle really helped with the paneling and the overall look of this build. Up onto the balconies, I was like, oh, what are we going to do up here? Because I'd like them to be accessible, but I don't really want to use them. I'm just kind of playing around with the ground floor as the residential area. So I end up just putting in an old office up there that looks like it's run down with more machinery rooms. And yeah, I just went down those routes of it and it came out fine. It came out fine and I really enjoyed the look of it by the end. Really did. What area is this? I'm trying to work out what I'm doing now. See, I did so much. I can't even bloody remember. This is me just connecting in this weird little paneling thing that I'd left out. And I end up just doing that with a roof piece, and it worked. It really did. But I always like to do this. I'll be doing something and then I'll find something in the menu or the build menu and I'll be like, oh my God, I want to use that. And then I'll fly off with the camera and start using it somewhere else. Then I'll come back to what I was doing. I'm very much like that in my creative process. Is anybody else like that? Where you're like concentrating on something, really paying attention to it, and then you get inspired, and then something there that's hit your inspiration, you have to go away, you have to use it, then you end up doing that, and you come back to what you were doing, and then it happens again. I do that all the bloody time, and I've always been like that. Always been like that. Now, actually utilizing these doors and windows, I think this is probably one of the first builds I've ever used those windows and doors on, and they came with Get to Work, which was the first Sims 4 expansion. So that's so much I don't like them, but they suit this build, and that is exactly what I went for. Yeah, really, really cool. Using so many girders in this place, by the way, just to make it look very solid and grounded. And yeah, I love it. So this is the start of where the actual residential bit is going to be. I wanted it to kind of have its own kind of terrace moment. That would have been, I don't know, a place where they would have fixed up their, I don't know, machine parts or something with an indoor bit as well. So it's kind of covered outdoor and then indoor completely. I just thought that was a nice touch, and it's good for gameplay because I end up putting a dining table on the outside with a barbecue and a fire pit and vertical planters. And I end up using these walkways up here on this level. This is where they grow all their own produce, and I end up putting loads of I really wanted that. I wanted them to be a bit higher up, out in the open, just for a bit of realism. And I enjoy it. And I use so much of these like spillage rugs everywhere because it just really helped kind of put detail into this place. Like this place is run down and things are rusting and whatnot. And yeah, I was for it. Now this side was looking a little bit flat to me. So what I did was end up kind of tearing up 2 balconies, 1 2 squares wide and then one just 1 square wide. And it just put a bit of interest onto the back of the build itself. And I ended up using that watchtower as well. That was from Debug. That's that like big kind of white hexagon thing off to the left there. And it's really cool. But what I didn't realize is that at night, an actual searchlight is like going out with it. I was like, what the hell? Who's in there? But yeah, I didn't realize that. But it still looks good and it fits in well with this build. So that's why I went and used it for. Really did. But you can see probably why I didn't keep all of the detailing in, because it is literally me just cramming in as much detail as humanly possible. Whereas still paying mind to it, like I wasn't just slapping things here and there. I was just like, yeah, that would look good there. That kind of adds a little bit more interest into that area. So I'm going to use it. And this is me seeing that concrete piping and I was like, oh God, no. What about these? Could I use these? Nope, they're crap. And I think this is where I found the girders. So here they are, look. So I end up sizing them down and then wrapping them around the pipe itself. And it fits it. It fits it. It looks great. And it makes it look a little bit more stable as well. And I ended up having to move the last one down because it was just a little bit too, it was a little bit too floaty. And yeah, again, details, my love. All in the details. Absolutely all in the details. And I go to town on cracks and water stains throughout this whole place. Honestly, it gets silly by the end of it. It really does. I would dread to think how many cracks and water stains I used in this build, to be quite truthful with you, because I think probably 80% of the build is cracks. And this is me now, like, this is where I started to decide I don't want to make this look too green. I had all this ivy all planned everywhere, but I end up just using touches of it here and there just to pay respect to the fact that, yes, it is abandoned. But again, I still wanted that industrial edge to shine through rather than the kind of nature's taken over kind of thing, which is probably what I'm going to do with my Let's Build kind of abandoned government facility. I'm going to try and make it look like nature has taken over it rather than the industrial edge, which is what is going to be in the Let's Build part. But I'm going to try and build on that government place where the mother lives. I'm going to try and build on that. But somebody told me that when you build on that, it just changes. It just goes back to what it was like before. So I'll need to make sure. Before I do, because I don't want that happening. And if that is the case, then I'm just not going to bloody build on it at all. Adding in terrain paints now, I was like, oh, the piping area is looking a little bit too crisp. So I end up making it look a little bit more run down. Like, things have happened there. Spillages, the pipes are leaking and whatnot. And yeah, it just added to the story. Added to the story a whole lot more. And I loved it. I really did enjoy building this lot. I absolutely loved building this lot. It's just inspired me to build even more using this kind of like dystopian look. And I definitely will be, because we've got a lot of stuff in game now to help that happen. Now, on to the residential area. I'm just going to, 1 second. Shush, PC. You're very loud. My PC is going to take off, I think. Yeah, so this is the like residential area to this. This is where all of those lovely Sims live, and it's kind of like run down in itself, but I still wanted to make it look kind of cozy. A collection of kind of hand-me-down furniture and furniture they must have found and stuff is what I wanted. But yeah, I still loved it. And I ended up using these little like festoon lights all through it, and I ended up kind of hiding parts of it away into the wall and just draping them around the room. And I thought it looked really nice. I thought it looked very nice indeed. I like it. You'll have to let me know as well, guys. As always, I love hearing from you in the comments. You know that by now. So let me know down below what you think of this place. And this room actually fit in that huge bloody crate coffee table that I've never been able to use because it is literally an apartment block. But it fit quite nicely into the corner in here. And again, added into the aesthetics nicely too. And I actually got to use the new Star Wars plants as well, which are just stunning. Absolutely beautiful. Probably some of my favourite things in the pack. And they're bloody plants. God, I'm such a builder. So yeah, this is me now going around adding in all of the like vertical gardens and stuff. And I just wanted a bit of I wanted that edge to come through, like they are kind of self-sustainable and they can look after themselves. And they can get and use all of these as well. I actually planted with all of them after obviously sorting out all of the hazard tapes because they weren't getting anywhere. And with this table on the outside, I wanted a bit of outside dining space. So I just use a mixture of different chairs as well. Again, looking like a little bit more of a hand-me-down vibe, which is, I just love that. I really do. I think it's very nice. Very nice indeed. I loved it. Really did. And I put an outside shower out here for some reason. I don't know why, but there is a shower inside as well. So I think I was like, oh, maybe they were like, if they're at a power plant, I don't know, maybe they had to wash off their hazmat suits if they used them or something. So that's exactly what I did there. That is exactly what I did. And I think I'm just going around and slapping more detail in. I actually found a ticket booth. I was like, oh my God, I've been looking for one of them as the kind of like power plant entrance. And I actually managed to find one. I can't remember where it's from. Oh, I think it was from university, actually. I think it was there. Yeah, university kind of thing. And this is me trying to copy bloody wires and find wires because I wanted to make it look like those solar panels were kind of plugged into the building themselves, but I couldn't find them. But then I did find them off of camera, so I have put them in just for that little bit of detail again. And it's literally just a little bit of wire going from a solar panel. But I like realism, my loves. I really do. And I'm for it. So yeah, this is their main kind of living area, really. And I was like, oh, I end up using this new picnic table here in the beginning. But in the end, I actually moved that into the kitchen itself because the kitchen is quite large. So you'll see that in just a second. And yeah, I loved it. I actually get one of the hamster cages in here as well. I thought maybe they would like a small pet, even though they did have a house full of dogs when I was doing the kind of player testing because of the dog hangout trait. But I don't know. They had a small pet and he's called Bazza. Bazza the hamster. I think it's only right. And the bathroom. Again, I wanted everything to look like they maybe installed it themselves. So I used a lot of the older stuff. And wasn't so much I reckon this would have been like again, one of those hazmat room washing places. But all of that got taken away and destroyed in an incinerator. So they ended up just making their own bathroom themselves. And that's what this kind of stood for. So I still wanted to pay respect to that with the kind of spillages and the drainage and stuff in there. But yes, very nice indeed. Now on to the bedroom area. So in one of the bedrooms, I ended up using a tent. I thought that was like a cute little touch. And in the other one, I ended up using 2 beds. I was trying to put 3 in there, but I ended up going for 2 instead. So this can sleep like up to 4 people at the minute, but you could just easily put in some more beds if you may wish. But yeah, very much enjoyed it. I definitely knew I wanted a tent in here, even though it kind of doesn't make sense because you can't really install or put tents onto concrete, really, can you? I have no idea what I'm saying. I've been speaking for how long? 40 bloody minutes, waffling on about absolute nonsense. But I'm here for it. It's a Sunday. Why not? What did you guys do for your Sunday? Again, as I said, I was finishing off this build. But Tom actually did a barbecue, which was very nice. And I've just been chilling around the house all day. And I've actually finished. Tom got me the Great Harry Potter Great Hall Lego set for my birthday. And I actually finished that today as well. So I've been building IRL and on screen today. I was going to do it on stream, but I was too excited. Sorry, loves. so it's here, but I'll have to show you. I'll put it on my Instagram or something. But yes, very nice. Very nice indeed. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Waffling through, trying to find, what am I doing? What is this? Shoes? No, a few crates. Okay, a few crates there. Oh yeah, I put an easel out in this lot as well. So I wanted to get some a stacked canvas area so they can make some money and whatnot. And then on to the final bit, the kitchen area. Again, I wanted it to look very hand-me-down, like they just found this in a skip or something and made their own makeshift kitchen. So that's exactly what this is. And it's got enough room for all of these Sims to sit in and eat, because I end up moving the picnic table, as you've just saw. And I actually do a washer and dryer in that corner. Yeah, I just really wanted them to have that, because I actually put in a clothesline at the back as well. So they could have a very self-sustainable, lovely life here if they may wish. But anyway, guys, I'm going to stop waffling on now, because I've been waffling for far too long. Far too long indeed. And yeah, I'll see you on YouTube tomorrow, my darlings. Goodbye.